North East Texas Sports Network is dedicated on delivering the most entertaining sports broadcasts in East Texas. And if you're interested in having your next sporting event streamed live, visit us online at NETsn.live.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the NETsn Live weekly wrap-up show, Week 2 edition. It's your boy Brett Swinney here alongside Corey Marshall and hopefully soon Vincent Johnson. What's going on, Corey?
What's going on? That hump day.
Yeah, it was a hump day. I had a rough day at the myself. I didn't sleep a whole lot last night. I had stomach issues going on, so I actually didn't go to work today. It's a long day for me, so yeah, so kind of recover, eat a little bit lighter today. But on a lighter note, we got some football to talk about. There's a lot of things to talk about after last week. Just I'd like to give a shout out to our boys from LoneStarGarden.com, Chris, Terry, and Grant. Actually, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but Chris will be on the show next week for us. So talked to him earlier. And he will be jumping on next week. So shout out to Chris Daly and their crew. Make sure you go to all our social media platforms. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/NETsn Live. On YouTube, it's youtube.com/NETsn Live. And on Twitter, follow us at NETsn_live. And also, we've just opened our new store for our hats are available. We got some other things coming down the pipeline. If you'd like to pick up one of our hats, make sure you visit our website, netsn.live/store, and you can go to our store and purchase one of those. I'm just ready to talk some football. Let's check out who we've got with us today. So we've got Derek with us. What's up, Derek? Thanks for joining this week. First off, we're going to start off with our new segment. And I will kick us off this.
Too late to get to this good-looking winner. Uncle Mo, he demolished the field. He won by 15 lengths. He won by more than that.
And our Uncle Mo's player of the week goes to Brody Eves from Carlisle. Check out these stats, fellas. 17 carries, 272 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 catches, 118 yards, a touchdown, 1 kick return touchdown of 90 yards. Also plays defense as a safety, 3 tackles, and 1 PBU. All-purpose yards of 480 yards to knock off Troop, which there's only one of us, I believe, that got that game correct. It was not me. I believe it was our boy Vincent Johnson predicted Carlisle would beat Troop. Nice pick there, Vince.
Don't do that.
Why you gonna hate on me like that?
I was giving legit.
No, I appreciate it, Brett. The score can't stand it.
Okay,
I'll give it whatever you deserve to do. I will say that was a good pick. I mean, I didn't see that happening. We'll talk a little bit more about that once we get going on our picks.
He didn't see it either. Trust me, he didn't see it either.
Oh, okay. All right, Corey. You right.
Oh man! All right, so let's go into our pick'em results here. Yeah, it was an interesting week. It wasn't quite as bad as last week. There were some games this week that were good rivalry games, but games that I don't know if I want to say they were easy picks. There's never an easy pick with this Texas, but a couple of them I think were a little easier to pick than the previous week. So let's go here and take a look at. See if I can find my little standing sheet here. Y'all thanks for continuing to pick. Make sure you get your picks in for this week if you haven't yet. So our winners for this week, we had a tie, 8 picks apiece with our boy Terry Bennett from sideline to sideline. Shout out to Terry and Drew Sweeney. You got 8 picks. We were Drew went with me to the game last week, and he was counting them down. He thought he was going to be up toward the top, and he was. I will say that I tied again between the three of us. I tied again for first place this week. Me and Vince with 6, and Corey with 5.
Okay.
So, pretty close there. Other people that picked with us, Chris Blevins got 5. Jonathan Bradshaw had 6. Our boy Derek, we just saw he's on tonight. He had 7. Okay. And Alex Cloudy had 7. Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies to Mr. Eddie Hackelman. He actually had 8 as well. So my apologies. I'll get you highlighted there, Green. Eddie, you was our first week you picked with us, and you tied with 8 as well. So 3-way tie for first there.
I'm the only one lacking. It's okay. That's all right.
Here we go. We got Chris here with us.
What's up, Chris?
Thanks for joining us, Chris.
What's up, Chris?
And we also had Eddie here. He was making sure we got his right. You did get 8 out of 10. Another site that I'm going to start updating this once the show's over. You won't be able to see it until the show's over. But on our website, I'm going to put it through the chat. It's not going to be a link, but it will be a place where you can go directly to the site. It's netsnlive.pick'emleader. And that site is up live right now. It has the live standings through 2 weeks. So I'll put it, like I said, I'll put it here in the chat for y'all. I'll try to keep it updated, but I won't update that until after our show. So you come tune into the show, and if you want to know who's up in the standings and who's not. I will just say I can't say anything too early, but I am leading right now of the wrap-up show crew here with 10, and Vince and Corey have 9. So I know it's early in the season, but I have started off with a little bit of a lead. So,
don't get too comfortable.
I'm not. I wasn't bragging yet. I'm.
Don't do that. You always bring. This is laughing. He's always bragging, especially about the pickles.
I was not bragging. I just was stating that I was ahead. I didn't say that I was claiming victory yet, and that's a little bit down the line.
Yeah, the whole pick'em champ belt thing going on. I think I should get me a belt. You remember that?
Yeah. I already stated what I came to do. I want the gold, sucker.
Eddie's stating here that he missed week 1. Yeah, you missed week 1, but honestly, Eddie, you can still make a run because there wasn't a whole lot of picks getting picked correct.
You never know, man. Some people, some people just drop off. So
week 1 was WAK.
And you have to get your picks in every week. So yeah, you have to get them in every week. So make sure that you get those in. I think there was 5 people in so far this week. The 3 of us and then 2 others. So make sure you get your picks in. All right, let's go down through these games and break them down and talk about them a little bit. Let's see. We got – let me go back and find week 2. First game was White House, Jacksonville. Wow. Yeah. I want to officially apologize to White House. Man, they've they're
not messing around this year.
Sincere apology.
They just had to survive. They had to weather the storm. retool, regroup, and here they are. They fighting back now. So I mean,
Definitely sincere apology on my end because I definitely didn't pick them, and they blasted 2 teams already. So shout out to White House getting the dub early.
Yeah, that's 2 wins. I think the main thing I noticed is usually the 4A Division 1 teams, when they've gone up to play 582, it's usually the 4A district has usually handled their business, but 5A this year's the 5AD2 teams have held their own for the most part. So it's interesting to see how that's done so far. But yeah, White House, and it was there was a few. I had Jacksonville, Corey had Jacksonville, Vince had White House. Nice pick there. Another nice pick, Vince. But I really want to talk about the next one.
Go ahead, Corey. Go ahead. Say something.
Lucky.
Oh, he goes.
I did it twice in his look. I did it twice in the same week in his look.
So Vince, I'll be interested to see when we go through our picks here after a while and the next week. But the game 2 was Henderson Hallsville, and you picked Henderson, your boys, and Hallsville put that L on them. Thoughts on that one?
What did I say last week? I said Hallsville, but Henderson better not prove me wrong. I'm tired of picking them. I don't like them, so yeah, I'm through with them.
You would pick Henderson, and they end up. That's fine.
I'm through with them. But I tell you what, I found new faith in Hallsville, though.
Hey, we all 3 picked Henderson, so that was rough. I think that was more of having faith in the District of Doom overall.
Yeah,
I think
that's really what it was.
Because our district's not looking too hot right now.
No, it's not, and we'll talk about that here shortly. Game 3, I don't know if I want to call it the surprise of the week, but I kind of do. Carlisle over Troop, and they just put up gaudy numbers in this game. Kind of wish I was at this game instead of the one I was at. I mean, you're talking about Carlisle. I think they had 66 points or something
66.
like that. 66.
Basketball.
Oh man,
66 to 6 like that.
And it was video game numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That was almost than UNC and Appalachian.
Was there anybody that was at that game?
And I told you about that game, Corey. Why you bringing that up?
Well,
you tried to tell off camera. Me and Corey had a conversation about that game, and I said, "Man, Appalachian look like they come into play." Corey said, "Nah, they know they're supposed to lay down." Ain't that what you told me?
Yeah, but
their quarterback was an inch away, from tying that game.
It was close.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, I still like to give out a shout out to our man Brody Eves, Uncle Mo's Player of the Week.
Sure.
Go follow him at Brody Eves 15 on Twitter. Go follow that guy. He's also up for Dave Campbell's Texas Football Player of the Week, so go vote for him at texasfootball.com. Work for them on Fridays with Texan Live, so shout out. They do good work. If you don't have a subscription with them through Texan Live or Dave Campbell's, make sure you go check them out and give them a shot. If you like Texas football, both of those sites are for you.
Get the right.
So, but I will say, and this is something that I don't know if I shared with y'all. Our boy Trey Davis, Charles's son, went out in the first quarter with an ankle injury. That definitely had an effect on the outcome of the game, I'm sure, because he is a big part of their offense, as we saw in week 1. I mean, he have like almost 300 yards through 3 quarters or something like that. So, look for Troop to bounce back. They just ran to a steamroll in Carlisle, and Carlisle's in that small division too. So that's, they're 2A, I believe, right? Are they D1 or D2?
2A. And shout out to them, man, because they're playing both sides of the football too. So not only you have to score a touchdown, but you also have to prevent the other team from scoring a touchdown. Mm-hmm. So typically, the quarterback is going to be the free safety at that level. So
you gotta have a lot of endurance there, and
absolutely.
Oh yeah,
and have a little luck with injuries as well. You don't want to pick up the wrong one. You lose 2 starters.
Got to be a good athlete.
Yeah. Game 4, no surprise here by any of us. Corey got back on the right track and picked Kilgore this week against Gilmer. We kind of coaxed him back over from his delusional state from week 1. Kilgore just not enough for Gilmer. They played him a little bit closer than Chapel Hill did, but I'm sure Kilgore didn't turn the ball over 7 times. I don't know exactly the stats of that game. I'm fairly certain that they didn't turn the ball over that many times. So Gilmer with another big win as they continue to roll on, and really just kind of looking right at a Gilmer, Carthage, and then a Van, maybe the 3 of them that this D2 East Texas matchups in the playoffs are going to be juicy ones. So, game 5, Pine Tree Lindale. Lindale bounces back and gets the victory over Pine Tree. No surprise there. I think all of us had Pine Tree in this, or Lindale in this game.
Lindale, yeah.
So I wasn't really surprised by that. Lindale's a good team. They played a weaker Pine Tree team. They took care of business and got the W. Now they got an interesting matchup coming up this week that we'll talk about when we get to week 3s. Could have been the game of the week if not for another big matchup in the area. So we'll talk about that one. This one was just a mistake. I think Vince must have been sleeping when he made this next pick, game 6. Longview Marshall. He could beat me this week if he had just made a logical pick and taken Longview.
I tried to shoot for an upset, and
were you on the Corey? Were you on the Corey scope of the long
I was
shots
drinking
there?
the Kool when they beat Tyler. When they beat Tyler, I was drinking the Kool-Aid. So I'm back to my senses now. Marshall is Marshall.
But you were drinking
no disrespect to Marshall
Tyler.
Players. I shouldn't have picked them in that game.
Yeah, what was in the Kool-Aid?
Okay, here we go. I got this question.
Sugar.
This question is for you, Vince. This question's for you.
Eddie, sometimes you just gotta pick a wild card. Sometimes it be like that, man. I can't explain it.
That's a Corey special. A Corey special right there, Vince.
I'll say it like this. Had they had won, I'd have looked like a genius.
No, you wouldn't have. You'd have looked lucky.
Exactly. Pick the wild card.
I tried.
Oh man, y'all tripped me out. Y'all tripped me out now. Okay, so the next one, another non-surprise, Lufkin over Nacogdoches. I think the only person that picked Nacogdoches was Chris Blevins. Chris, if you're on, give us an explanation why you thought Nac would beat Lufkin. Lufkin's on a roll right now. I mean, they've got I think they play A&M. If they play A&M, was it Consolidated? A&M Consolidated this week, I believe.
Yeah.
So they've got it won. They're going a little south for their next matchup. They're on a roll right now. Game 8 was a clean sweep for Timpson. They're just rolling right now. Mr. Bussey's on another level as they beat Jefferson, which, we had them in our rankings last week. So, I know. Here's Eddie's. Said his losses were Chapel Hill and Tyler. So, yeah. Chapel Hill was – you had the right pick there, Eddie. Chapel Hill should have won that football game. We'll talk about that. Everybody picked Chapel Hill, so you didn't lose any ground there. Not a single person in the poll picked Van. And it comes down to me, is mistakes. And Van played smart. They didn't make mistakes. And Chapel Hill did. They gave him a safety. Brisbane didn't get rid of the ball on time, held it too long, threw it for the intentional grounding in the end zone, gave him 2 points there. And then the muffed punt inside the 5-yard line. You never field a punt inside the 5. That's just a rule that coaches should
I think that right there really that mistake, I think, is what really cost that game at the end. Well, wasn't even at the end, was it? But it ended up being the difference. Because was it a 7-point game?
It was a 6-point game. 6-point game. So basically, it was 3-2 at that point. They gave them the touchdown. They went to the locker room. Van up 9-3, down 6, and that was the difference. It was 6 points. Then they were able to each get a touchdown in the second half.
You take that turnover away, which led to a score. We might come out on top there, but I mean, you shoulda, woulda, coulda. It happened.
Derek, you have you got 7 right this week. Derek, the ones that you missed, you picked. Let's see, you picked Chapel Hill. You lost that one, Derek. You had Henderson. You lost that one. You had Troop. You lost that one. You got the rest of them right. So Henderson, Troop, and Chapel Hill were your losses, Derek. Make sure I haven't seen your picks come in yet, Derek. So make sure you get those in before the games lock. Eddie says they'll win this week. I sure hope so. If we don't beat Greenville,
I'm gonna say something.
Man,
you need this because you don't need kids mentally.
I think they need to come out and just blow.
I don't care how you get it. I don't care if it's 1 point win. You need a win to build the spirit in right now, because you don't want kids to mentally check out, especially not this early. So we got a lot of more football left, so it don't even matter. Playoffs,
expectations
district is what matters. So
expectations.
He's saying by 3 touchdowns. I think it needs to be more than that myself.
Expectations. And they got to get a win. Expectations are too high. A lot of riding on their shoulders. They're looking at the standings, and they're looking at everybody's picking them to win, and they hearing all this, hearing all that, and we didn't get a chance. We didn't get a chance to win. Van was a worthy opponent. I mean, Van went 12-1 last year. So I'm not gonna say that. We weren't supposed to be Van. Van was a worthy opponent. They're coached very well. They're used to they took care of business. They played the way. I didn't like a couple of penalties that happened during the game. I didn't appreciate a couple of those. It should have been.
You mean the penalties that were
the Phantom
not there that they made up?
It was one penalty in particular. It was a 4th down, and we got a conversion, and all of a sudden they just flipped it and turned the ball. I don't know what the call was. I had no idea what the call was. I thought it was an illegal snap. It was clearly on the offense, and all of a sudden they get the ball back, and it's 15 yards down the field, and they score. I thought that was a game. Like, that was like you had just scored the previous possession. You got a big time stop, and then you gave them the first down. Now, to me, it's hard to coach your kids that. You coach your kids a defense. You've done everything I asked you to do. I'm not saying that penalties don't exist, but I'm saying that's kind of, you don't.
Hey, let me just say this, Corey. They happened at interesting times.
You don't reverse that play.
The penalties happened at plays that would have changed the game. Like, there was just the timing of the penalties was what was very strange to me.
And I'm not the type of person that blame a game on an official. I'm very much so. I say that officials control in basketball per se. Officials can dictate how physical the other team plays, and if you don't know anything about basketball, they can. If that whistle's starting to blow a little bit quicker because other teams, but you kind of backing off. You're not going to play as aggressive. In football, you may be less apt to do certain things in football. But it was a clean game up to that point. Then all of a sudden, Chapel Hill started you could kind of see Chapel Hill was kind of starting to separate themselves. They got a stop. They got a big score, a stop. And then the game, they clearly would have scored on that next drive. Because that drive, the momentum, Uncle Mo was in the building, and then that just let the air out of the sail. I hate that for those guys, because you can't go back and tell them, like, what did you do? I don't even know what the penalty was. I don't even know what the penalty was. I couldn't even tell. Like, how would you reverse it? It was clearly.
I hear what you.
Everyone saw that. It was clearly a penalty.
Yeah.
Had too many men on the field.
Yeah, but I will say, you can't let refs dictate whether you're gonna win or lose. So you can't put yourself.
No, you can't.
You know, we still made our own mistakes. You know, there's gonna be bad calls. That's just the nature of it. It's human error. So there's things that we could have done to not put ourselves in that situation.
Absolutely.
Again, when you think about the trying to field the ball on like the 2 or the 1 yard line. Again, that right there was crucial. That ain't got nothing to do with referee. That was on us. You know, you got to stay in the game mentally. I know you're in the game physically, but you got to stay in it mentally too. And you know, we're making just mental mistakes right now. And again, all of that stuff can be cleaned up.
And I think a lot of this is the thinking.
And
I think a lot of
this
two thinking.
Really good ball clubs. You got to remember that too. Really good ball clubs. So I'm not mad that we're 0-2. I would have loved to have been 2-0. I would have loved to have been. But you know, it ain't like we were playing Ruby Poops. But again, this is also why I'm saying we need to make sure that we handle business against Greenville.
Now I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm not picking Greenville, but I'm saying the best thing about sports is you always play a home and away. They hadn't forgotten getting beaten in week 1 last year. They hadn't forgotten it. I'm pretty sure there's bulletin material. So you better come out and you better take care of business at home because Greenville's not gonna forget. There's no mercy in high school football. So they're gonna come out. They're gonna come out aggressive, and they have a purpose in winning. And probably gonna end the series that we play with them. So this is a time you want to come out and get this win. Don't play around.
Well, we'll play them next year though, Corey, because this is the first year of the schedule, so we will play them in Greenville again. Remember, we had to change the schedule up last year, the previous year, because of COVID. They redid the schedule.
Yeah.
So
kind of changed.
We kind of had a usually you have home and home, but we didn't because we were supposed to play White House and all them, and they started later. We got some inside information here from Facebook user. Go ahead and let us know who your name is. Greenville has a beast at quarterback, rushed for 34 for 444 last week. Wow, that's impressive. Let us know who you are, Facebook user. Thanks for the information. That's great info.
If it's Jared, I'm not picking TCU this weekend.
Okay, so the next game, guys, we had it as our game of the week just because of the rivalry and the matchup. You know, I don't know if you want to call it Tyler Legacy, Tyler High, Lee JT, however you want to do it. That was Jonathan Bradshaw. Thanks Bradshaw. Appreciate the information. But it was definitely the game to be at this week. Now, it was very sloppy. We heard from our man Jared Jones, the Wide Right Scoreboard Show. Corey and Vince kind of it was still in the air, and y'all, that actually was did it finish before y'all were off the air? Did the game, or was it still going?
I think it went final.
Right at the end.
Right where we were hitting, it went.
Okay, yeah. So, but yeah, 4 overtimes, and I don't know. See, it was the only one. It was yes, out of the 3 of us, I was the only one that had Legacy.
Legacy, boy, they almost tried to get that game away. You know, I think they threw a pick, is what somebody said in the overtime, but Tyler couldn't go down and do anything with it. You know, a lot of back and forth, and Legacy pulled it out. I think, did their kicker have like 2 40-something yard field goals?
I know he kicked one to tie the game to send it over.
To tie the game. There was one before that too, I think, or something like that. So, man, Tyler High, they 0-2 also, and they got a big hitter this weekend. I mean, but again, here's the beauty. Here's the beauty in all of this, right? It's still only the first half of the season. None of it really matters. You win out in district. Nobody cares that you lost the first 3 games. So.
I don't know if you're a Tyler High player. Do you care that you just got beat by Legacy?
It pisses you off.
Well, I mean, here's the thing though. Legacy has. I heard this earlier. Legacy has tied up the series between them 33 to 33. So
33 and 1 now. I think there was one tie. Yeah. I'm not sure how there was a tie in this game, but
so I mean, that was and they've won the last. I think they won the last 4 or something like that.
Yeah, so it's kind of gone back to their favor because Tyler High had that. It was pretty significantly ahead in the series.
Now, I would be wrong. I'd be wrong if I didn't mention this part. And so a lot of people in the Tyler community where I kind of grew up at are kind of arguing about this point. They redrew that district and that line. And so a lot of those kids now are at Legacy that used to be Corey know what I'm talking about. That used to be at Tyler High. So that's the argument people are having right now, is that these kids that they used to have are now at Tyler. I mean,
well, can they not transfer freely back and forth? There for a while, you could transfer like anybody could transfer over. I think it was like if you're a minority, you could transfer back and forth or something. Back in our day, like I know, like I think it was I think to keep the was it the racial stuff equal? Like you could, so like if you were an African American, you could transfer to Legacy just if you wanted to. You could just transfer over. Also, they had that. What was the program they had? And Vince, you may know this. A lot of the white kids would transfer over for it. It was like some kind of smart program. What was it called? Do you know what I'm talking about? Because I know some.
I do. I don't know the name of it, but I.
So they were. So basically, they were trying to get kids over there, and so it was a big.
Yeah.
Like, you could go back and forth, and honestly, if you want to go to one school, I don't necessarily think it matters. I mean, if you want to go to one school over the other, that's it's.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't matter, but
it's not like Argyle's not pulling some people from other schools and all that. That goes. Yeah. So I don't necessarily know. I just think it's interesting. They redrew. I think it was. Did it have more to do with the middle? They were out of the junior high or middle schools, and so they because used to. I know this is kind of off topic, but I just had read something about this. Used to that, like if you went to this middle school or junior high, like some of them would go to Lee, some of them would go to JT. Now I think they've got it where like if you go to this junior high, you definitely go to this high. Like it feeds.
Yeah, you have to go to that certain high school.
And I wonder if that has more to do with it because they've redone. Like there's not as many of the junior highs now. Hogs now. I think they disband it?
Gone. Yeah, or it's gonna be gone anyway.
Yeah. So, those Bolter, all the Bolter kids went to Three Lakes.
Yeah,
man. All I know is that the South got a flood of kids, and the North didn't. That's the best way I could put it. And so that's how some people are looking at the football situation. I think
it really is the junior high thing though, and that may have been.
That may be what it is because you didn't matter. You didn't matter where you went. You could go wherever you want to. But I think you're right, Brett. I think now if you go to a certain junior high, you have to go to that high the corresponding high school or something.
That was JD was I need to ask him. So I think either the Stewart or
JD would know.
I think not both because both got in the middle school. I think it's Stewart. My bad. Stewart and Dogan were the 2 middle schools that's not existing anymore. I think Stewart went to Three Lakes.
Stewart too. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. They built Bolter.
So they had I think there was 8 at one point. Now maybe there's 6 or something.
I think it's only 4 middle schools now.
Is there only 4?
More Bolter, Three Lakes. Well, 5. More Bolter, Three Lakes, Hog, and Hubbard.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody just put it up here. I don't know if you want to post that or not. But
yeah, here you go. Lots of kids are at Moore now, which means they'll go to Legacy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's funny geographics there, but anyway,
that's interesting. So
we don't want to jump on all of that. But
we got off topic a little bit. It's okay. Derek's got Mount Vernon stomping Gladewater. Surprised him. He left in the third quarter, even though I wanted to watch Mount Vernon. Okay, so that was a been a good one to go to if you liked offense for the Mount Vernon side.
Unless
it's a playoff game, he doesn't like to. Yeah,
yeah.
See, Bolter went to Moore. Okay, that's what happened. So there's your answer.
Okay. Was it Stewart? Stewart went to Moore.
Chris says, "I'll tell all about the school situation in Tyler."
See, Chris probably know. Chris know too. I'm telling you, man, this conversation about that a lot. I hear this often, so that's why I brought it up because I didn't want to be unfair to Tyler High and say, "Oh, well, they lost the legacy, but they losing kids every day."
All right. Well,
no way on God's green earth you could tell me that in the years growing up, I'm the old JT would ever lose that many games to Lee. Never.
Yeah. Hey, it's a new day. What do I always say? Corey? If you suit up and you step out there on that field, you can be beat.
Yeah, if you're sitting up for the wrong school,
it's a new day, man. It just is what it is. It's a new day. Come on, let's go, man. Let's go.
All right, you two. All right. Let's get these people what they want. Let's release the NETsn Week 3 rankings. Y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. Let's start in 6A. And also, thanks to the recommendations by Eddie, and also I'll give Drew a shout out. He also had that recommendation. We'll post the rankings after our show each week, so you'll be able to go back and review the rankings on our website. So
Drew's doing stuff behind the scenes. Need to join the show. That's what I think.
I'll try to get him to come on. He just doesn't want to. So
like the Wizard of Oz.
Drew's more laid back, man. He ain't the real. He ain't antisocial, but he ain't the social type.
But you know what I'm saying? Every time
Drew is like, if you in my circle, you know, we vibing. If you're not in my circle, hey, you missing out.
All right, so here we go.
He's fist pumping.
Week 3, 6A, 5A rankings. We're going to start from the top. Longview maintains the top spot this week, 2-0. Lufkin stays pat at number 2, also 2-0. Sliding up into the third spot is Texas High at 1-1. Moved up from number 4. Sliding up to number 4 from the 5 spot is 2-0 Hallsville. Into the 6th spot, into the 5 spot, sliding up from 9 is those kids across the pond, across Lake Tyler. White House makes the jump into the 5th spot at 2-0. We have a two-way tie at the 6th spot with Marshall and Legacy at 1-1. Legacy jumps up 2 spots, and Marshall drops a little bit after they lost to Longview. At number 9, we've got Mount Pleasant at 1-1. And rounding up our top 10 is Pine Tree. Stays right where they were last week in the 10th spot at 0-2. Thoughts on that poll, Phyllis?
It's a good poll.
I mean, it sounds right. I mean, I have people swapped, but I mean, it sounds good though. It sounds good. You know, between
we were
up Texas High. You know, it's hard to pick who's better there. I originally went with Texas High, and I think I switched it to Hallsville myself before I sent it in. So.
Okay, so here we go. Eddie's got a poll for us. We're going. He's got his up. We'll see what he's got. He's got Longview, Texas High over Lufkin. That's interesting. And then Marshall, Tyler over Legacy. How is that possible, Eddie? Okay, we just saw them play. Legacy beat Tyler. Explain that one. That's the one I'm confused about. The other ones I can see. He's got White House because he probably doesn't think that they've played as strong a schedule as some of his other teams. I can see that. Yeah, go ahead and let us know on what he's saying that he's consistent that Texas High should be 2. Lufkin's been impressive, Eddie. I don't know. I think they're right there where they need to be. I mean, they did lose. I know it was to a tough opponent, but I think until Lufkin and Longview loses, Texas High is going to be sitting at the 3rd spot. And he said this takes into account the whole year. Correct, but we haven't seen them play any other. They've only played 2 games, so we're taking into account what they've played so far. I think Lufkin and Longview. Any arguments? I know, Vince, you had Hallsville. Dude, what was your?
I was just looking at the numbers and stuff and who they played, and I think they beat up on somebody real bad. And I was like, again, Texas High is really good too. They beating up on people too. But if I'm not mistaken, I looked up Hallsville, and did they beat somebody like 60-something to or 50-something to like, I don't know. I can't remember. I had it pulled up and I didn't write it down, but that's why I changed. I had it with Texas High first, and when I looked at Hallsville, I said, man, I'm just gonna go with Hallsville. Offense is not the whole game, but it's hard. That's all I have to go off of right now is how much, are you scoring more on your opponent, and are they scoring any on you type thing? So that's where I went with that pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, right now, we've pretty much got Texas High at 3. Vince has them at 4 with Hallsville up higher. So right now, I think he's going to give us some ratings here. Only ones in the rankings that have 180 plus rankings. Well, I don't have any access to these ratings that you're looking at. I'm just going by what I see and what I hear. These are our personal opinions, but I like the information, Eddie. It's good info. We'll see. Once we hit district, things are going to start shaking up as these teams are all going to start playing each other, and it'll be very interesting.
I do see this poll is constructed, though. I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree with this poll.
I like that now because here's my thing. Like right now, I'm taking into consideration what they played. Do I think White House is going to continue to sit top 5 of this poll all season? I do not. I think once they get to district, it's going to be a little rougher.
I would hope not.
Well, I didn't say that, but I'm just saying like for what they've played right now, they've been impressive 2 weeks in a row, and so that's what we're going by. Not to say that they may just go 10-0. That would be more credit to them. I just don't think that they will continue the pace, and I'll see these rankings shift up and down as we go. He's saying Lufkin is sub 160. Eddie, I would be interested to know where you're getting this information from. Share that with us, Eddie, because we'd love to have the extra resources. So share that information. Drop us a DM on Twitter. Okay, moving on. We'll move on over here to 4A. Not much movement at the top, kind of the same as the 5A. Carthage and Gilmer continue to be 1-2 in the poll. No surprise, Van slides up to number 3 after their big win over Chapel Hill. Rusk moves up from 7 to 4 into the 4 spots. Into the 5th spot, Sulphur Springs at 2-0. 6 is going to be Center, moving in from 10 to 6. Pleasant Grove slides down to 1-1. They're at number 7. Chapel Hill in the 8th spot at 0-2. Kilgore at 9 at 0-2, and Liberty Ilo and Palestine tied for 10th spot. Liberty Ilo are new into the rankings this week after they have beaten. I think they beat Henderson the first week. I don't know who they beat last week. I can't remember off the top of my head. But Palestine at 1-1 also tied with them. Thoughts on those rankings?
No love for Rusk. Did I hear Rusk in there?
Yeah,
Rusk is number 4, Corey.
Okay, I was just going to say, like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Well, what's the thing that that is there anything that shocks y'all, or like that you're not surprised
Pleasant
to
Grove
see
was
there?
too low. Pleasant Grove was too low. I thought Pleasant Grove was probably. I still think they should be number 3 or 4.
Pleasant Grove, okay.
Center is really good. To me, center is really good.
So I think I put center at number 4 on my list.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Y'all may not like it, and I may lose the pick'em challenge. I'm picking the upset. Nothing in my. I'm not gonna say it.
Don't give it away yet, Corey. We got to make them wait for it. Make them wait for it. So here's Eddie's rankings. Eddie's got Carthage, Gilmer, Pleasant Grove, Chapel Hill, Van, Kilgore, Rusk, Center, Palestine, and Sulphur Springs. So it's interesting there. He's got Chapel Hill still at 4. Again, he's ranking them on some other statistics and some other rankings. Probably has something to do with strength of schedule and things like that.
He's not.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That ranking is pretty much based off of actual overall contenders. Like, Chapel Hill should be better than Van. Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with that at all. Not one bit. So, but I'm rewarding teams by wins and losses as of right now. That's the only thing I'm rewarding by.
Yeah.
So
when you play head up and you lose, I'm not gonna put you over.
If this was a basketball AP poll, that would definitely work. Yeah, of course, but I'm not.
Well, I mean, it's all opinionated too, so it don't even matter to me. Like, I love to see the diversity there. Like where I put all these teams and versus where Eddie's putting them. So, because he could be right, he could be dead wrong. I could be right, or I could be dead wrong. We could all be wrong. Palestine come out and not lose another game. So that's why we
wrong. It's about body of work.
It's not about right. They beat Paris, so that was
Paris is Liberty
Island. Let's see. Oh, Liberty Island. Sulphur Springs looks strong. Yeah, so far Sulphur Springs, and that reflects as they've jumped into the 5th spot in our poll. They were kind of off the radar at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Jacksonville week 1. I think shocked some people. Thought Jacksonville might move down, and of course Sulphur Springs also moved. Now Corey tried to put them in the big school poll still because they were ahead. I had to have them redo it. It's like they're trying to move up, meet with the big dogs, Corey.
They could make it.
So we've got Eddie's got some rankings here from his. So center has a 140
rating,
and Carthage and Gilmer are 170 plus. There's no surprise there. And Liberty Island is on the move. They should be they're moving in. They're definitely getting some votes now in the rankings. Actually, I was the only one that had them picked in the rankings. I will have to tout that, as I had them number 7 in my poll, personally. But again, there's a lot of good teams here. I mean, we had from last week's poll, we got some on the outside. We got Athens is sitting there 2-0 that got some votes. You got Lindale still not even in the poll. Kaufman's not in the poll. We talked about Paris. There's lots of teams right there that are chomping the bits to start making some noise. Once district starts, we'll really know how some of these teams fall, because, again, a lot of these teams are going to be playing each other. They'll be knocking each other off. We'll have a little bit better idea where they kind of fall into place. Let's see. Saying Liberty Aloe has one of the biggest jump in the rankings, and they'll be contender. I think so. I think they're really high in the coverage area, which thanks for the information, Eddie. We love getting y'all's opinion on some of these schools that we don't know a whole lot about. That's great information. Just helps our show. We appreciate it. I think the biggest thing that I take over this is there's a lot of good teams in 4A. I think when we first picked the first of the year, we had, and I think y'all will agree with me for the most part on this, we thought it was Carthage, Gilmer, Chapel Hill, Kilgore, and maybe Lindale, and then everybody else. And maybe not even Lindale in that conversation. They were kind of on the edge. But it's a lot deeper than we thought. We've got Russ coming on with it, Coach Sitton out there has done a great job with the McCowans out there. You've got Center playing well right now. You got Van, which shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, they off a 12-1 season last year. Only loss was to Gilmer in the playoffs. You've got a lot of good teams. You got Athens starting 2-0 now. When district hits, some of these teams will reveal. We'll know who they really are. I mean, you can only hide with your schedule for so long. Eventually, it will catch up to you. And I think that's one of the things with Athens. They haven't played as strong a schedule as some of the other teams in the district. I mean, Palestine even played NAC. That's a step up. I can't remember. Can y'all remember who Athens played? But I just don't think it was someone very.
They played Brownsboro for sure.
Brownsboro is not known as.
I was talking with somebody, and Athens has a couple of players, 2 guys in particular, that their dad played for the Chicago Bears, played for the Texans too. Last name Manning. I think Daniel Manning is his name, and one of his sons is a senior. Oh, excuse me. You hear me? Okay. I think one of his sons is a senior. They said he is really, really good. So I don't know, man. I got that little bit of information, and I think both the kids are on varsity. I think the other son might be a sophomore, maybe a junior, but one's a DB, I think, and the other is a receiver. So, and that they're helping Athens make a run, man. So I don't know. I don't know yet. That's just some information I heard the other day. So
we'll see. We'll see if Athens they play Russ this week.
Yeah, they do. They do. And I sat there on that pick for a minute because after I heard the information, my initial thought was Athens, and then I realized I was like, "What am I looking at here?" I was like, "It's Russ."
So we'll get to those. We'll get to those picks in a minute here, but let's get our last poll reveal going here. I think of all the 3 polls, this was the most interesting one for me to vote for, just because, man, there's just so many teams in this.
Teams, yeah.
I mean, so many teams.
If you're at the bottom of this one, honestly, it does not mean anything because all of these teams are good. All of them.
So we'll start with number 1 in this week's poll again from last week. Timpson Bears stay at the top of the poll, 2-0. Right behind them, moving up a couple spots, the Dangerfield Tigers. And that's our game of the week here. We'll be picking on that one here shortly as Dangerfield Timpson meet up this week. Mount Vernon coming off a shellacking. They actually dropped a spot in the poll down to 3, which, again, that'll work itself out. One of those 2 teams above them will lose, and they'll move back up. So don't worry, Mount Vernon. We haven't totally lost faith in you. Just Timpson and Dangerfield have just been very impressive. And not to say that and you look at it, okay, talk about matchups. Mount Vernon just shellacked Gladewater when Dangerfield played Gladewater really close. So if you look at it that way, you're like, man, that Mount Vernon should be ahead of Dangerfield, but it's just Dangerfield. They've got that mystique, I think. They've been very good, and they've got some good players that we'll talk about here in a little bit. So coming up, number 4, our surprise of the week, Carlisle. Little Carlisle moved up to number 4 at 2-0. Also at 2-0, Tenaha Tigers. They're number 5 this week. Wascom, number 3 in last week's poll. The actually game was canceled. They didn't play, so they dropped a few spots to number 6. Malakoff.
I wish they could make that game up.
Yeah, Malakoff in the number 7 spot this week. Moved up a couple spots, even with the loss. We disrespected the Malakoff Tigers last week, and we're sorry. Even though they lost, they're in our poll this week. So we got coming in number 8, a newly ranked team, Garrison. Into the poll at 2-0 at number 8. Troop drops from 5 to 9 after getting beat by Carlisle. They're at 1-1. And West Rusk back up into the poll this week after picking up a win at number 10 at 1-1. Thoughts on that poll, Phyllis?
I mean, I think I may have had Garrison over Malakoff and then Troop and West Russ, but I mean, again, it doesn't matter where you put any of these teams; they're all good. So,
I just want to see Dangerfield and Timpson play. Put that on Sunday.
That's game of the week.
It
that's
is
game of the week.
It is. Well, that's what I was talking about. There was a couple of games that could have been game of the week, but you could not put that one in the game of the week.
I don't know. Maybe we may need to rethink the game of the week. Athens and Rusk would be a good game.
Well, I thought so, but you cannot not put Timpson Dangerfield as game of the week. There was also Lindell Van, which is a juicy one.
Yeah.
I mean, Lindell has lost early, but it's still a big rivalry, and I think it's going to be a good game. So here's Eddie's rankings. He has Mount Vernon 1, Malakoff 2, Timpson 3, Dangerfield 4, Beckville 5, Wascom 6, Jefferson 7, Carlisle 8, Troop 9, and Tenaha 10. He says Mount Vernon's only given up 35 points so far this season. It's pretty impressive. He says the first 1 through 4 picks are plus 150. And Derek says he's skipping the Mount Vernon game to watch Dangerfield and Timpson play. I don't blame you, Derek. I wish I could catch that one. It's the only bad part about covering the games every week. So I don't get to pick what game I go to. I'm going to a certain game. Like this week is one of those games I am excited. Don't get me wrong. I love Chapel Hill football, but there's some games that I wish I could be at this week.
I would probably skip the Cowboy game and watch the Timpson Dangerfield game.
Of course you would. Would you skip the 49er game, Corey?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So then saying that you'll skip the Cowboy game is not that big of a statement.
I know the outcome.
You skip the Cowboy game anyway.
I know the outcome.
He knows the outcome.
Would you skip the Texas game this week for it?
Absolutely
not.
No.
So Vince, what are your thoughts on that? Anything that surprises you?
No, not really. Like I said, that 1 through 10, man, it's tight there. So Timpson and Dangerfield is going to be one great game. Corey said put it on Sunday. I was going to say put it on Saturday.
Texas plays
Saturday.
Texas plays.
Oh yeah.
I will say, Derek, to my defense, I had Timpson 1 and Mount Vernon 2. So I did have Mount Vernon above Dangerfield. I did take into account that score. So I did have them higher. So don't take it out. You talk to Corey and Vince. They had Dangerfield over Mount Vernon. So
Corey kind of convinced me about the Dangerfield thing. I really started out with Mount Vernon first at number 2, but
I just saw that they played the same team and one of them destroyed them and one of them lost. So that's why I went with Mount Vernon over Dangerfield.
Gotta think. Mount Vernon's gonna jump up whoever loses. They're gonna jump whoever loses. So Mount Vernon could be number 1 next week. Or they could be number 2 next week.
They very well could be. Very well could be. All right, so let's move on and do some picks. Y'all ready?
Okay.
All right. So this week's picks, and I see now we have 7 people have picked in with us. Derek and also Drew got in there. Hey guys, make sure you share this with all your buddies. Let them join us. They can still jump in. It's a week-to-week thing too. We keep the full season standings for it as well, but let them join in and join in the fun with us. Week 3, pick 'em. Game 1, Henderson Marshall. Guys, I know Vince is not picking in this one. I'm going to go with Marshall. They've been impressive so far. I just don't see Henderson's had a tough start, and I don't see it getting any better for them this week. I think Marshall takes it.
Mm-hmm. Marshall.
Corey, you're taking Marshall. That's your namesake.
Marshall.
Eddie's got Marshall by 4 touchdowns. That's probably
the disrespect. Come on, Henderson, you got to.
Eddie.
He's laying it on there.
4 touchdowns. That's not easy.
Oof. Game 2. We got Hallsville, Sulphur Springs. Now, this one was tough I went with Hallsville, but I thought about this one for a minute, just because Sulphur Springs has started very good so far.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good game, but I'm going to go with Hallsville. They've been playing well.
Hallsville.
Yeah, I'm riding the high of Hallsville, so yeah, that's what I'm sticking with.
Bobcats.
All right. In the game 3, we got Longview and Legacy.
Yeah, now, big Legacy this week. Yeah,
I'm through with that.
Yeah, big Legacy this week.
Oh, they got. What did you used to say? They got to fall sometime.
That's what you said, Corey. They're like Argyle. I gotta lose at some point.
They gotta lose sometime.
Be shocked. You all gonna be shocked.
Eddie's got Longview by a lot. I agree with you, Eddie. I'm taking Longview.
For sure.
Next up, we've got Maybank Brownsboro, and this one was a tough one right here. I struggle with this one.
Brownsboro.
I didn't really know who I wanted to go with because both teams are kind of below the radar by everyone's standards right now. No one's really talking about either one of them. But it's a good matchup. I thought it was a good matchup. And yeah, I think I just went with my gut. I just went with Maybank. I remember we played Maybank the last couple of years in district, and they're a really interesting team to prepare for. If they're still running that same little scheme, they run it every play. It's run. I think it's the wing T. Is it wing T? I don't know. I can't remember exactly what they're. But anyway, if they get ahead on that wing T formation, man, they're tough. So I'm gonna go with Maybank. I don't know. This is a tough one. I think it's a really good pick'em game because I think it could go either way here. Who did y'all say y'all had?
I had Brownsboro.
Oh, so I could gain one on y'all on that one.
Nah, this is where we leave you. This is where we leave you.
The next one is Tyler High, Mesquite Horn. Man, I just have seen a lot of Tyler High losses so far, and
I'm picking Tyler.
It's not impossible, Tyler. It is not impossible. With that being said, I did not pick y'all.
I picked Mesquite Horn,
but it is not impossible.
I gotta go with who I think is going to win, and I think it's Mesquite Horn. If you couldn't beat Legacy in the biggest game of the year,
don't let me down. Do not let me down. I picked y'all against Mesquite Horn. Do not let me down.
I'm glad somebody did. I just couldn't do it. I need to win this pick'em. So I used up my only wild card last week.
It's still cool, y'all. I believe in y'all, man. Come on, pull it out.
Well, that's possible. All right, next up we got Livingston and Palestine. This is an interesting one, as Livingston is one of those. It's on the edge of our coverage here. I wouldn't say, but I just thought it was an interesting matchup. Trying to find some that weren't just easy, cheesy picks, but I think I had to go with my district rival, Palestine. I just think they've given Chapel Hill a lot of trouble, and I think they're going to give Livingston trouble, and I'm going with Palestine in this one.
Palestine.
I pick Palestine. I think a lot of us pick Palestine. Palestine as well.
The next one up, Corsicana White House. Guys, I had to get White House in there. They've been doing well, and they've shot up the poll. Got a matchup against Corsicana, which Corsicana has been known to have some good football teams over the past. But here's the thing. I'm going with Corsicana in this one. I just think White House can continue the pace. I don't think they can continue that winning way. It's White House football.
I'm not mad at that pick. I did pick White House thinking that they might do it, but I was split on this one. So I just stuck with White House in there.
Okay. Corey?
Got White House.
Okay. Can you say it a little louder, Corey? Who'd you pick?
I picked White House.
Okay. I was It's a surprise, Corey. I didn't know if you ever picked White House.
Well, it's just kids, man.
Okay. Game 8, which any of these last three, I thought could have been the game of the week. But game 8, Rusk, Athens. A really good matchup here. I went with my boys from Rusk, the Thomas Sitton and the McCowans. I'm going to ride Rusk for the victory in this one. Who y'all got?
Rusk Eagles.
Yeah, Rusk. I went back and forth again. Like I said, from what I heard about Athens, I picked Athens at first, and then I switched it to Rusk, and I went back. I finalized it with Rusk, and I feel bad because I feel like Athens, if it is what they were telling me, Athens might make a run this year. You know, they got a few athletes.
Vince, do you remember what district Athens is in?
I do, but okay. You know, anything is possible.
He's just a fair guy. Look, he's just trying to be a fair guy.
I'm trying to be fair. Hey, I'm not gonna do that to you know. I rag on Henderson, I rag on White House, but I'm playing, but I'm not going. Hey, listen, you could have a good year. It could be your year. You know.
Any of y'all in the chat that have any other games that y'all think y'all want us to talk about, let us know while we finish these picks, so we can talk about those once we get done here.
You know, don't sleep on
game 9, Lindale Van, guys. I'm going with Lindale. Who'd you pick?
I picked Vando.
I got Lindale. Who you got, Vince?
I think I picked Lindale in that one.
My thinking is, like, I was not impressed by Van last week. I think they got
I picked Lindale.
I got a lot of calls. Chapel Hill should have demolished them. Lindale's coming off. They were ticked off after losing the Coffin that first week. I think they were going to roll and knock out their rivals.
I don't know if Van had an off week or not, but I wasn't super impressed either, per se. That's not to take anything from Chapel Hill or anything. I think Chapel Hill's a good ball club, but Lindale had a good bounce back win last week, so I think they're gonna ride that high.
But you also got to think this: Van also may take that week win against Chapel Hill and say, you know what?
And you're right.
They may get big headed.
They may step it up.
They get big headed, like, we just beat Chapel Hill State, right? And then Lindale comes to town and just smack them.
Yeah, this isn't Looney Tunes.
I mean, anything's possible. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Van won the game, but I had to choose somebody. What I tell you, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. So I just had to go with Lindale.
24-21 Van.
Yeah. All right.
Could be
in the game of the week.
Game 10, Timpson and Dangerfield. And guys, this is a statewide big matchup. They're talking about this one even on Dave Campbell's site, and I'm thinking it's a quarterback matchup, and when you got our from week 1 or Uncle Mo's player of the week 1, Terry Bussey, against Chase Johnson. Okay, listen to these stats that Chase Johnson just did last week when he knocked off Dangerfield. He threw for 406 yards and 6 touchdowns to lead Dangerfield. That's some impressive numbers by Mr. Johnson.
Sophomore at that.
Yeah, so we're talking. This is two really good teams, both with a lot of athletes. And again, we see that cross between the size differential. Dangerfield being a little bit bigger. So I don't know. I'm still rolling with my Timpson Bears, but it's a toss-up to me. I think it could go either way. It's going to be determined by who takes care of the ball and who doesn't make mistakes.
I picked Timpson, but something's telling me Dangerfield's going to edge out. Dangerfield's really good. Dangerfield's really good. Yeah. Like this is like Timpson's raw, but did you see the assault? Did you see the aerial assault? It's not. I mean, like, it's breakaway speed after break. It's. Listen, all right. I'm shut up.
Hey,
I'm shut up.
It's gonna be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I'll tell you that. I wish I was sitting there on the sidelines for that one. It's going to be
Where's that game at? Where's that game at?
I believe it's in Dangerfield, if I remember correctly.
So Dangerfield going to play at home. Okay.
I think so.
It's going to be on NETsn Live. Will it be on NETsn Live?
I don't think so.
So I got to drive to Dangerfield to watch this game.
Yeah. Yeah, Timpson plays a visit to Dangerfield. Yep. So in the state, you've got Timpson's number 1 in 2A Division 1, and Dangerfield is number 2 in 3A Division 2. So this is like almost equal to the Chapel Hill-Gilmer matchup. Pretty close to the same type situation in week 1.
It don't matter to them. They those kids know each other. They know exactly.
Let's go over here to some chats. We got Bradshaw. He's got Dangerfield beating Timpson. We got James Duke. Welcome, James. It's a new person. Hey, James, if you haven't, go over and fill out our pick'em contest. NETsn.live/pick'em. Get in there. Get your picks in. He's got games in Dangerfield at 7. So, thanks, James. We've got Derek. He's got Dangerfield. If they can contain Bussey, it's over. Well, I mean, I think that's going to be any week if you can contain Terry Bussey. We know how good of talent that young man has. James is going to go join our pick'em. Thanks for joining us tonight, James. Hope you're enjoying our show. But yeah, I think, man, this is a juicy matchup, man. It's just, I know Corey was wanting Athens and Rusk in this one, but it's just, man, this game was too highly ranked and publicized to not be the game of the week. It's just going to be a good game. I really do. Now you picked Dangerfield, Corey. Did you pick? Who'd you have, Vince? I don't know if
I picked Timpson.
Oh, you picked. Y'all.
Picked Timpson.
Did you pick Timpson? Vince?
Yeah, I picked Timpson.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all three had Timpson. Okay, so it sounds like our viewers are all picking Dangerfield. So
that's
what it's looking like.
That's a smart pick.
Yeah. Derek, you can point them over there. It's easy. NETsn.live/pick'em. Real easy to go to. And if y'all missed it earlier, the rankings are going to be. It's a site. There's no link on the site, but it's a direct link that we have hidden, and it's NETsn.live/pick'em leader, and that will take you to our leaderboard. It's updated right now as of through week 2, so you can go there and check out where you're ranked. We kind of went through that, but that way you can see how you match up. We've got the top 10 up there so far this season. See, we love being the underdog and not picked. James, are you a Dangerfield person, James? Let us know. We'd like to know where everybody's from so we can kind of keep up with that throughout the season. I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
I think so.
But welcome, James.
From
Dangerfield. Thanks for joining us tonight from Dangerfield, James. We appreciate you.
All from Dangerfield. We appreciate you coming out, man.
Hey, James, listen, I'll be on at 10 o'clock Friday. Keep me posted. Follow us on Twitter. We'll be on the Wide Right Scoreboard show. We need some updates on the game. So follow me. Follow us on Twitter Friday, and we'll be on live as well. We need some updates on the Dangerfield game. So
Pleasant Grove is playing number 7 ranked Midland Christian Private School.
Yeah, they couldn't get a game. They couldn't get a game scheduled, so they're playing the Midland Christian school there, which is that's gonna be a good one.
This will be an interesting game. And I was going to say, Corey, go ahead and tell them a little bit about the Wide Right Scoreboard show we see.
It's simple. Wide Right Scoreboard show on Friday. Live interactive show. Keep us posted. We're going to do the Pick'em Challenge, the games of the Pick'em Challenge, and, of course, any other games in the East Texas area, and, of course, other big games as well. I'll be on Friday. I don't know if Vince may be here Friday. I don't know. He may be at the Dangerfield game. He may be poking around. I don't know.
I'd like to go. I'd like to get out there.
Well, there's some I've got some new toys coming that I'm going to be using to try to get some in-game perspective when I'm not at the game. There's a bye week coming up. I want to try to use it to try to do some cool things. So keep an eye out We'll talk more about it here shortly. But yeah, we're gonna try to get you some good inside sources to these games. So yeah, Vince, man, hey, if I was you, I'd be at that game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to see how far Dangerfield is. I've been out there before, but I can't remember how far it was.
So what's the update on our Twitter challenge? How is that going? For those of you that don't know, Corey and Vince have a Twitter challenge of who can get the most Twitter followers. I think Corey had the lead after last week. Vince, how's that? How is that catch-up process?
It's a slow process. It's a slow process.
Did y'all decide what was the wager?
I don't know. What's the wager?
And nothing's been decided just yet.
Y'all need to decide that because that could be rather interesting. Also, I have a big surprise next week. I thought it was going to be this week, but I've decided to move it back to next week. So come back for Brett's big surprise. The guys don't even know it's going to be big.
If it ain't money, I don't want to listen.
I mean, it's not money. I don't know what that kind of surprise is, but it'll be worth your time.
Is it Maverick tickets?
No, I mean, you know. Also, make sure if you are a Chapel Hill supporter or you like following Chapel Hill football, check myself and Corey out. We're on NETsn Live every Friday. I've got the link to the game on the NETsn.live website, so go to NETsn.live, click on NETsn Live at the top. It'll take you directly to this week's game. Chapel Hill hosts Greenville. It's a homecoming game. We'll be live on NETsn Live, 7:30 p.m. kickoff, so check us out there. We also want to give a shout to our boy Chris Daly. He will be on the show next week. Lone Star Gridiron owner and the man that got us hooked up. We are now on LoneStarGridiron.com if y'all didn't know that. So Chris will be on next week for a little segment. We'll talk to him, and should be a good show. Guys, anything you want to wrap up with that y'all want to say before we move on?
All right, listen, real quick.
Upset. That's all I'm saying.
There you go. That's it right there. First and foremost, I know there's a lot of Bama fans out there. I know we in the South, but listen, that Tide can come over into Austin if it want to, but ain't nothing rolling. Ain't nothing rolling, baby. Texas football.
Derek, the standings of the Pick'em Challenge are on the website, netsn.live/pick'emleader. We'll give you the updated standings on the Pick'em. So thanks for that. But big football game, Texas game, should be good. Hopefully, did y'all see where the band of Alabama band's not coming?
Well, they shouldn't. Why are they coming?
I think they're whining because they were going to get stuck up in the high, like way high seats. Like we were going to give them a good spot at a home game.
Yeah.
Man.
So
they lost. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Next.
We'd like to thank LoneStarGridiron.com for everything they do for our show. Go check them out. There's lots of good shows on their website as well. LoneStarGridiron.com. Terry Bennett, Grant Goodwin, done those guys. I'll be on their show next week, the Beast Texas Report. I was going to be on this week, but Terry had a storm issue at his studio, and they had some technical difficulties, so I'll be joining them next week. And Terry and Grant will also be joining our show at some point this season. We've got them down for a couple dates. They just got to finalize that with them. Some good guys that I got to meet up with last week. Don't forget to follow us and like us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/NETsn Live. Also at YouTube, youtube.com/NETsn Live. Go subscribe to our page, guys. It really helps us if you could subscribe and like all our videos. I think we're up to about 280 or so subscribers now. It's all our old content's on YouTube. All the shows stay there. Anytime we go live, you can get notified. That stream is the one that goes directly to our website. And so, go help us out and do that. Also, we're on Twitter, NETsn_live. I'm on Twitter at Brett Swinney. Let them know where they can follow you guys at.
Oh, okay, yeah, at your boy CM, and this is very important, very important. Follow me for sure Friday nights, Wide Right Scoreboard. I like to talk a lot of noise, like to talk a lot of smack, trying to raise it up a little bit. So you guys at the game, please watch us. James Duke, I will call you out. I'm not gonna forget it. I'm gonna call you out. Please tag us on the show and follow the show. Give us some updates on the game. I want to see it. I want to see you there Friday in the chat. So yeah, follow me at your boy CM.
And guys, I want to, before Vince goes, I want to tell Corey and Vince, they've done a great job with this scoreboard show on Fridays. I've jumped in and given a few thoughts, and I get off usually, but they're doing a great job. But they need your interaction to help the show. Just like y'all come on tonight, get on there and chat with them. If you picked somebody and they picked the other team, go on and give them some noise. And same way, if get on there and take your defeat. If you pick somebody, get on there and let them know, hey, you guys won. Good job. Good pick this week. Just the show is there. They're doing a great job with it. Please share it with all your friends and family, because the more people we have on there, the more interactive, the more enjoyable, and just the more entertaining that it makes the show. Vince and Corey get on there and talk to each other all day long, but we want you guys to be involved in the show. That's what makes this show and that show special, is our fans and our people that follow us. So make sure you get on there and check them out. The link's already posted on YouTube, so go on there and go ahead and hit the notification where it will remind you the show comes on. If you're at a game, pull up YouTube on your phone. You can get right there in on the chat. It's also be on Facebook if you want to be on Facebook there as well. So make sure you check them out. And Vince, go ahead and tell them how they can follow you.
At Prince V83, that's me. Come follow me. I need followers. I need soldiers. All I need are soldiers. I'm trying to beat this guy over here. Well, he's over here. And I'm a little behind. I looked at my numbers. I'm not used to Twitter, so I'm getting in the habit. I've had it for years, never used it. I'm starting to use it now. But I need soldiers. I need the army. I need the Prince V army. So yeah, come follow me. I gotta beat this guy. I can't lose to this guy. Come on.
It sounds like a cult. I don't know if I want to join. You don't want to follow that guy.
It is a cult.
Oh, yeah. Well, check us out on all our social media platforms. Follow us online. We're there and active online, and just follow us and check us out. I'd like to thanks again to LoneStarGridiron.com. For Vince and Corey, this is Brett. We'll catch you next time right here on the Weekly Wrap-Up Show. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Northeast Texas Sports Network is dedicated on delivering the most entertaining sports broadcasts in East Texas. And if you're interested in having your next sporting event streamed live, visit us online at NETsn.live.